If you are serious about becoming a crypto millionaire and you're strong on your decisions, you need these 10 skill sets. These 10 skill sets are going to give you that advantage in the market where a lot of retailers are going to get kicked out, are going to be wiped out, and you will be the last man standing. So for those who already have mastered the rules of crypto, which we have covered in the last video, the skill sets here is going to aid or reinforce you to reach through these goals. Now, not everyone would be familiar with these. Some of you may be familiar with some of these, but these are going to be the foundation for you in crypto. If you really want to become this particular guy who has mastered all these skill sets, stay close, watch this, and repeatedly learn this from different assets, right? So let's actually dive in. Now, 10 skill sets. What are those? 1. Survival skills. What do I mean by that? When the market goes down like this, you feel like, okay, the market, oh wow, it's so bad. You even go below your desk. Sometimes it really feels like that, right? The price is dropping heavy on you. You literally see names like it went just below your computer. Even during that days, you need to be alive. So staying alive during a market crash, staying alive even after a market crash. So if you are leveraged, these kind of days will come in the market. Those are the bad days that will definitely come in the market. And if you are leveraged, what happens? You're kicked out. So you need to manage your leverage. You need to be on the right asset on the right time, and then you need to follow these. Fine. The next one, the guy who loads up. Why? After this comes an accumulation, right? You drop. Fine. The market goes down. You do get bad days. Then around a point, you start making a different pattern. Instead of making lower lows and going lower, you slow down and trend inside one range. You are trading range bound, not going to the downside. Now that's your accumulation zone. So to accumulate here, you really need your money management skills to be sharpened, as we talked in the last video, and that aids you here for accumulating, because accumulation skills are super important here, right? With this, you load up, here you survive, and only if you survive here, you get to this place where you can buy cheap, dollar cost average, accumulate, whatever you want to say. That is where you position yourself to become a crypto millionaire. Fine. Moving on. Next one, a slow and steady always wins the race. Even in crypto, in this volatile market, it's the same. What does that mean? Be a bullish bear. That's what it means to be slow and steady. Because here, it's the game of bulls and bears, right? So if you're a bullish bear, you get this ability. What do that mean? Being defensively aggressive. Now, you are loading up, the market is slowly going back up. This is the difference between both of this. In this stage, you don't get this, but here you're breaking to the upside. And as you break higher, getting to a previous resistance range, now you really don't know whether the trend changed and it's going to come below this or not. We don't know. We just went through that in the crypto market right now, right? So those kind of stuff happen in the market. No one can predict these. So in this stage, you are defensively aggressive. You're not going all in, putting all your dry powder in. As we discussed last time, 10, 15, 25% of dry powder is going to aid you through these days. So if you have 15% and as the price breaks out, you are going crazy. You're like, okay, euphoric, and you put all the money in, done. Now your pockets are wiped out. And if the price happens to go low, make a new low, then bounce, you miss this one. Now it's just nice if you are a long-term investor who really don't care about dollar cost averaging, who's like, okay, I know this is the units I wanted, I bought it, I'm waiting till this price. Fine. But you have to improvise yourself based on these skill sets. Moving on. aggressive bull. Now, as we move higher from here, you go back up, you're trending higher, you're making new highs, new lows, higher high and higher low, and trending to the upside with a new pattern. Now you're entering, buying the dips. So you're entering 85% into the market. So if you happen to be in the market before this, you only have 50 to 25% as dry powder. So this 80 to 85% is for that dry powder, right? Now you're going in aggressive. So that's being the aggressive bull. Because if you don't manage these, you won't reach here. If you are, shooting all your silver bullets out, by this stage, you can't even enter this range. Fine. Next one, being a bearish bull. Now we talked about being a bullish bear. This is kind of opposite to that. Being a bearish bull. Defensively aggressive is your strategy there, waiting to go completely defensive, right? You are defensively aggressive like here, but you're waiting to go completely defensive. That's the stage here. You're making highs, fine, you're trending high, great, but you are at an all-time high. It's a price discovery stage and you really don't know where the top is going to be. Now it's about your measured moves of patterns, trends, or even the elite wave structure. And you're like, I'm not sure how high this can go. But there will be a lot of people saying, okay, this is going to $1,000. This is going to $10,000. Don't be that guy. Be rational and try to take your profits here. Take your profits. No other way. If you don't, that market is going to come back down, right? So at that point, what is really important for you? To look at this. Profit taking. So profit taking skills is like, some of them are too early. It's fine at one point if you need liquidity. But going too heavy, So when you actually break out like this, and if you're taking your profits, it's too early. Fine. But if you're like just 1% out, 2% out, that won't hurt you. Fine. You do have your capital 2% back with the profit. You are liquid. If you want to buy, if you want to trade, if you want to do anything, that reinforces you. But here, if you go too heavy, now that reduces your ROI potential. That reduces the gains in this particular cycle, and for next cycle if you are here. If you have already mastered all this and you are here, this kind of slows you down and you really don't want these stuff. Next, just opposite. Too lazy and too late. You're like, okay, I know the price is going to go sky high. Say for example, you are saying, okay, XRP is actually going to $20, $25. Great. But what if it's going to reverse at 18? What if it's going to reverse at 17? No one knows where these big whales are going to manipulate. As we discussed in the last video, this is a game which is heavily manipulated. So you need to be taking your profits and reducing your exposures properly. That takes you to the next one. Exposure reduction. When you're 5x, when you're 10x, when you're 15, 25, whatever, when you are in a bubble territory, you need to look at the market with rational. We literally talked about Luna, right? March 30th, we told get out. This is not a good asset. Solana, we've been talking about a long time. From last year itself, we're saying this may not make a new high. The risk is super high. Move out, reduce your exposure. Those who didn't know what just happened. Then Celsius, we did have same call. Now we do put all these on the Patreon, right? So as you see these macro patterns evolving, you need to reduce your exposure. Now if it breaks to the upside, it's all good. You're still in the asset, fine. But if it's breaking to the downside, you're going completely out. That's not just reducing your exposure, that's completely moving out. That happened for these three assets. That was the reason why we were shouting out, get out. Fine. Ultimate holder. Now, not everyone has the ability to do that. Why? You need to be young. If you are 60, 70, you cannot be looking like, okay, I'm going to hold for next 10 years. I'm going to hold for next 20 years. That may not be for you, right? But you're like, okay, I can hold for 10 years. I still have that time. That's okay. You also come into this stage. Why? Right now, blockchain, crypto, all of these are at a stage where it's like, the earlier days of internet where you don't actually have these browsers like Google browser, Brave, all these other stuffs. You don't have that. You are still on the basic stuff. Fine. Now we know what happened with that, with the advancement. So you now just have a basic layer on which everything can be built. So you got the infrastructure, but others have to come on and develop. So as they develop, here, if you are here, meaning all the cycle you mastered and you were taking profits, but you still have 30 to 50% of your assets for that particular category of asset group, where you believe, okay, this is going to be crazy for next 3 to 5 years because of this. Because this can happen, because this can happen. Say payments, you know what the target market is. The Forex market on a daily is like 6 trillion. You look at the back-end settlements, that's like quadrillion dollars. So if you are in payment assets and you are just looking at 10% of the market share, that's crazy numbers in terms of price, because most of these are limited supply assets. Next one, adapting to seasons. Now, it's not the summer, fall, monsoon, but you can also take that here, just different wordings. You get storms, you get way bearish, fine. So a lot of bears will come and you will go through the storms. There is no doubt in that. We've gone through that. If you've been here for like 4 years, 3 years or more, you've already seen these, right? You came through this. Now you are a seasoned trader. That's why we call that. You see and go through all the seasons and you learn from that. It's not like one of that cycle, a season comes and it kicks you out. No, you stick on to this. Why? Because after that season comes the next one, huge gains. And at the point you're like, I'm too good, right? I'm too good. That's where you need to look at the mirror and say, am I too good? Or is it the market pushing in a bubble territory? If that is, you are like 100x from your portfolio, take your profits. There is no chances that you can time the market properly. When quant was like $5, $8, $10, we were shouting out in the Patreon, right? This is going to go much higher. Now, yes, we didn't get the exact bottom, but from $10, it went to $400. Now, I agree. We kind of said around $300, take the profit. Now, this is the reason. No one knows where the exact top is going to be. So, if you took 70% of the profits at 275, 300, 325, great. The price went up. You still have 25% to scale out. Exposure reduction. These are the skill sets what we apply there when I call these. Now, that call was based on this one. It started trending higher, giving you the confirmation we are entering into a bull market for quant, right? And you went from that $10 mark all the way up to 400. Now, no one timed it perfectly, but still you made heavy gains. Now, once you go through this skill sets and you master these 10 skills, and in the last video we talked about the 10 rules. If you know the rules of the game, now you can get good at it. You can learn that one by one, you can get good at it. But even when you have learned both of this, you need to execute it properly, and that's where we are going. Execution is the worship. If you know this, if you have read books, you have everything here, but if you're not executing, that's no good. Fine. Personal ethics. You should be responsible for yourself, because now you know all this, you can't stay back saying, this is not a game I can play. Because if you do feel that, you don't have to put your money in as a gambling. This is not gambling, this is investing. Next, following the 10 rules. We just talked about that in the last video. Now, mastering these 10 skills. Because to do both of that, you need personal ethics. You need to sit there, go through, take charts of each different assets and look through these seasons, bears, bulls, being defensively aggressive. Imagine you are at that stage and I am being serious, dead serious. Imagine you are at that position where the price is going high. What should you do? Okay, this is where I should go defensive. This is where I should go defensively aggressive. You need that imagination power. Then, what's your horizon? If you're like, I'm here for next 1 year, okay. As we already went through this long cycle, 1,600 days, in next 1 year, you may still get a good chunk of profit. But we don't know whether the cycle is going to get extended for another year after that. No one knows. Fine. So if your horizon is next 5 years, next 10 years, now you can be here, the ultimate holder. Now you're positioning yourself for that long run. Imagine Bitcoin was like $1, $2, $10, $100. You were buying there and you had all this time in the market. Even after the drop at $20,000, you are rich. You are a millionaire, right? You bought at $1, you waited, it goes to 70,000, you still take profit as it hits 30, 35, 40, 45. And if you still have this mentality, you are still having the units, which is going to go back up. Fine. Next one, your targets. It should be reasonable. It should be based on either wave analysis, trend analysis, pattern, time series, whatever you use. It should be based on science. Don't just say this asset is going $1,000, $10,000. It's the market. The free market decides, right? So for that to happen, you need to be here. You're not looking for 100 years. You're not an institution who's looking for next 100 years. You are looking for 10, 20 years, mostly to the max part. Because you start at 20, 30, you're looking for that as maximum, not 100 years. So you need to know your targets and your horizon so that you're well positioned and you will follow this. Because if you don't know your targets and you don't know your horizon, you're going to go here, the too early, too heavy mindset. Because if you are like, okay, this is my final target and this is my horizon, you won't be taking within 3 months of bull market, within just 5x, you are not going to take everything out because you know this, right? Then you come to the next one, scaling, future vision. Fine, you went through this, you mastered these skill set, now you're taking a ton of profits. What are you going to do with that? Are you just going to buy a Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, whatever you want and finish that day? Your purchasing power just increased. Imagine you are there, you reached it, you made it, great. What next? If you are like, okay, I'm just retiring, fine, great, enjoy your life. If you are like, no, I'm an investor, I'm here and I will do this till the end of my times. If that's you, then what you're going to do is, you're going to look how you can scale. You're going to look at different areas where you can get good at, where you can be an entrepreneur, where you can deliver value. Now, it can be a different field for different individuals, but if you have that vision to build an empire, you learn from this day. Because in this market, if you end this crypto market in the next 1 or 2 years, and you have that ton of money, a big pot of money, you want to use it. Otherwise, the inflation is going to kill you. You can go just into an index fund and manage that. You can win gold, silver, and you can manage that. But if you are looking to build an empire, now you are learning already. You are preparing yourself to be there. Why? That's the crypto millionaire mindset. Because cryptocurrency is going to stay here, and after the bear market, it's again going to come back. So you should have your purchasing power even at that time to get back in and multiply, because not everyone know how to multiply. Then next one, it is reducing your learning curve. So if you are here thinking about the future, building an empire, you have to manage your learning curve. You need to become a learning machine. If you're like, I'm too slow, fine, work on it. It's all a game. If you work on that, you can become good at it. You can be perfect. You know, the saying like, it's like, you can become so good at something, the world will move out for you. So that's dedication. That's outworking. You need to out-strategize and outwork. So next one, getting better in the game of money. As we told, this is a game, a manipulated game. But if you get good at it, you are going to succeed. You play 10 times, maybe you are going to fail 7 times. But when you play 100 times, now you get that 70 times. You are only going to fail 30. So the odds just change. Then attracting money. That only applies to you if you are here thinking, I'm going to build an empire. Now you need to learn the rule of money and think how to attract money. But once you have mastered this 10 skill sets and the 10 rules, even if you have this 10 skill set and you are not following those 10 rules, it's useless. Same vice versa too. But if you have mastered both of them like these, then this applies to you. Automatically you attract money. You know where to invest, you know what to do. That's you as a millionaire. So guys, if you learned something new and you got new ideas, new concepts to take your step ahead to thrive in financial markets, then hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to learn from another video, you can go to this particular episode, or else if you want to look at the general update of the crypto market and how things are evolving, go to this one. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.